And so this microphone that Sherry is wearing is the microphone to the hearing loop system. And so for anyone who has a T-Qual activated can use the hearing loop, or if you want to take headphone methods, you can take headphone method as well. So that's what this microphone is going to. This microphone that's in front of me is going to all of you who do not need a hearing loop system. So if you are coming up to present, this will go around your neck. If you are the group presenter, I believe we gave some instructions before we started about how we can manage with more than one person up front. But the rule of thumb is there's 2 microphones, so just be mindful of that this is also on as well. So yeah, thank you, Sherry.
Thank you, Amanda.
And by the way, we are working on the technical difficulties of getting cut up and getting the live stream up, so bear with us. We'll get that back up shortly.
AI will never take over. The drop-in area, we did have a huge turnout for today. Again, thank you to everyone who has taken the time to be a part of today's event. So we do have a live stream area, which is also part of this event. If you feel like you like to move around, I believe it's just outside to your right, if you'd like to stand up and walk around for a bit. If you're looking for the washrooms, you go out the doors in front of me or behind me, turn right, enter the first hallway on the right. They're at the end of the hallway. There are gender-neutral accessible washrooms on the left. And for those in the drop-in area, the washrooms are in the hallway past the kitchen area. There are also sensory rooms on site. So for people in the drop-in area, the sensory rooms are in the hallway in front of you on the right-hand side of the TV. The rooms are on the left side of the hallway. For people in this room, from the doors in the back, turn right and enter the first hallway on the right. Just before the washrooms, there's an open entrance to the drop-in area on your left. Then it is the first hallway on the right to enter into the hallway where the sensory rooms are located. If you did not absorb all of that, I'm sure that there's a few people here who can give you directions if you're looking for that. We have catering. Thank you, from the North End Baking Company today, so feel free to grab a drink and some food if you would like throughout this event. Very relaxed. If you'd like to just step up and grab something to drink, feeling a little parched, no judgment. And if you have any issues or need assistance, please reach out to Amanda. Again, she's the one with the purple hair, as she will be floating between different areas in this space and in the live streaming area. For the past few years, we have had the extreme good fortune of a land acknowledgement delivered by Jared Watton of HRM to begin the week. And I'm thrilled to say that Jared is joining us again today.
Jalasi and good morning, everyone. I want to begin by grounding us here in Jibuktu within Mi'kma'ki, the unceded and ancestral.
I failed already.
I'll start over. Jalasi and good morning, everyone. I want to begin by grounding us here in Jibuktu within Mi'kma'ki, the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. Our connection to this place is not just about the land, but about our relationship with each other, with community, and with all living things. I also want to recognize the peace and friendship treaties which guide us today. These agreements were never about the surrender of land, but were agreements in living together in mutual respect, sharing, and responsibility. Those treaties continue to guide how we relate to one another today. In our teachings as Mi'kmaq people, we understand that everyone has a role and a gift, one that no one is meant to be left out. The strength of our communities has always depended on ensuring that each person is able to contribute in ways they are meant to, and that we support one another in doing so. When we talk about accessibility today, I think about that teaching. I think about how traditionally our people adapted to one another, making space, slowing down, listening, and recognizing that inclusion is an active responsibility, not a passive idea. Accessibility from a Mi'kmaq perspective is about balance and respect. It's about removing barriers so that people can live with dignity, but also it's about shifting how we think. So that we are not asking individuals to fit into systems, but instead asking systems to honor those people. As we gather here for Access Awareness Week, I invite you all to reflect on your own roles in that work. How do we make our spaces more welcoming? How do we listen more deeply? How do we ensure that no one is overlooked? Because when we do that, we are not just improving access, we are strengthening relationships, and we are building community in ways that align with the teachings of this land. R'Laliok, and thank you.
A couple of things. First of all, I have to remember to relinquish the mic. Might be a bit of a challenge for me, but I'll do my best. Second thing is, this is for technical, I just noticed with the cart, would it make sense, and can we certainly move the podium so as that those who need to read the text? Okay. It would not be easier just for me to slide this over, or is that going to create an issue? See, there's a domino effect. Okay, I'm just concerned that people need to read. They can't see the text, so. Okay. Thank you so much, Jared. Very much appreciate you being able to be a part of this event today. And hopefully you'll put us in the calendar for next year as well. I would also like to address the fact that persons with disabilities have the right to live full lives of their choosing and to be included in the decision-making process that impact them. There is a deep significance to the phrase of nothing about us without us, because historically, even basic human rights have not been honored nor respected, and access to services has been denied. We will continue to speak with a united voice as we support and work towards a province of equitable access and a quality of life for persons with disabilities, including our most vulnerable citizens with both visible and invisible disabilities. And we commit to doing our part to make Nova Scotia an inclusive and accessible province. NSLEO affirms that every person has the right to live with dignity, autonomy, and meaningful access to supports and services that they need to thrive in their community. We will not, under any circumstances, recommend medical assistance aid in dying as an alternative, and I want to stress that, as an alternative to the adequate disability supports, housing, healthcare, income security, mental health services, or other essential services. We do recognize that individuals and families may face deeply personal decisions when living with serious illness, with chronic pain, or a deteriorating quality of life. In those moments, people deserve compassionate, trauma-informed, and rights-based supports that respect personal autonomy while ensuring that decisions are never shaped by poverty, isolation, discrimination, lack of care, or systemic failures. People with disabilities must never be placed in a position where unmet needs or barriers to support create the pressure toward MAID. As an organization that is grounded in disability rights and human rights principles, NSLEO remains committed to advocating for equitable access, inclusion, and the full realization of supports and services that uphold the inherent value, dignity, and belonging of every person. And on this note, I would like to take this moment to invite Halifax's town crier, old town crier, to the podium. Will Brewer.
First, I'll explain what I'm wearing, and then I will do the official kickoff. I'm wearing a triangle hat. Some people might actually think I'm a pirate, but I'm actually not. So just to explain that a little bit. However, I won't take long. I wear a black cape with some pins on. One pin is actually from the City Hall, so thank you. I'm wearing a red and golden jacket, and a very loud bell that I'll be ringing. So I hope I can be loud enough for all of you. So I'm just going to do this on the side for a second. Whereas May 31st to June 6th is a week to raise awareness and understanding of disability issues and mobilize support for the dignity, rights, and well-being of persons with disabilities. Whereas almost 2 in 5 Nova Scotians over the age of 15 identify as a person with a disability. Whereas we gather here today to acknowledge the historical challenges, the current initiatives, and the future of full participation of persons with disabilities. Therefore, on behalf of Mayor Andy Fillmore and Halifax Regional Council, I recognize this week as Access Awareness Week, Nova Scotia. God save the King in all his glory. And usually in the beginning, and I forgot to say it, oh yay, oh yay, oh yay. Say it again with me.
Thank you, Will. It is always a pleasure to hear you and to see you as well. Our next guest brings the proclamation and remarks from Nova Scotia's capital city of Halifax. Deputy Mayor Patty Cuddle has a master's degree in urban and rural planning from the Technical University of Nova Scotia and brings over 20 years of experience working with communities throughout the Atlantic provinces. Before her election in 2020, Deputy Mayor Cuddle was the Executive Director of the North End Business Association, where she represented over 350 local businesses and led initiatives on placemaking, diversity, and inclusion, as well as economic development. Please join me in welcoming Deputy Mayor Patty Cuddle.
Thank you so much, Sherry. It's a real honor and a privilege to be here this morning to address you all on this very important week. I'll start by describing what I'm wearing. I'm a medium build with gray hair, wearing a black jumpsuit, a red blazer, and white sneakers, which I will say are not nearly as fancy as Sherry's black and red gold buckled shoes over there, or our town crier's black buckled shoes over there. I think I need to find myself a pair of shoes with buckles. Anyway, again, it is a real pleasure to be here, and I just want to acknowledge Alice, Minister Corkum Greek, and we have two Halifax councillors here with us this morning, Councillor Daigle Gammon and Councillor White. Halifax takes access very seriously. We passed our first accessibility plan in 2021, and as per the legislation, we've updated that plan in 2025 to 2028. An important part of that work is hearing from community and public engagement. And so I just want to let everybody know that that plan gets updated regularly, and I really encourage everyone to get involved, have a say, find opportunities for public engagement, because the plans are only as strong as the input that we get. And so I'm very proud to be on council that first adopted the Accessibility Act, or Accessibility Strategy, and look forward to working towards its implementation. And I also want to note that we have a very strong advocate for accessibility on regional council, and that would be in Councillor Daigle Gammon from Fall River, who has a long history working in this space and being an advocate, and I feel that HRM and council really benefits from her advocacy and her past work. And I'd also like to acknowledge Melissa from HRM, Melissa Myers, who's here and also helps guide our work at the municipality. So with that, I'm going to read the proclamation. Whereas the week of May 31st, June 6th is recognized as Access Awareness Week, and whereas Access Awareness Week aims to celebrate achievements made both by and for persons with disabilities in the areas of accessibility, transportation, housing, employment, recreation, education, and communication. And whereas this is the 40th year that this public awareness initiative has taken place in Nova Scotia, the theme for 2026 is Disability Justice, Stronger Together. Whereas barriers to inclusion are many and interconnected, removing and preventing them is central to improving the quality of life for persons with disabilities. And whereas the foundation of Nova Scotia's Accessibility Act is to provide, support, and protect the rights of persons with disabilities to full inclusion and accessibility by the identification, prevention, and removal of accessibility barriers. And whereas Halifax Regional Municipality's accessibility strategy promotes the removal of barriers to accessibility and inclusion of persons with disabilities in our spaces, services, employment, and information sharing. And whereas Access Awareness Week promotes the inclusion of all Nova Scotians with disabilities as full citizens within our communities. And whereas through elevating first-person perspectives and promoting public awareness, community partnership, and education, this campaign aims to foster an environment of equal participation for persons with disabilities within Halifax Regional Municipality. Therefore, be it resolved that I, on behalf of Regional Council, do hereby proclaim May 31st to June 6, 2026 as Access Awareness Week in the Halifax Regional Municipality. Thank you very much. Just wondering who I should present this proclamation to.
Thank you.
Would it be to
Thank you so much. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Deputy Mayor Cuddle, and thank you for the gift. Very much appreciated. I did receive a note that apparently there are some continuing technical issues in accessing CART there's a miscommunication between the screen and the projector itself. So if you're looking for carts, you'll need to go to bit.ly/access-cart. This is for your live stream. Or go to Ennis Leo Live, the YouTube, and you should be able to pick it up. I'd also like to acknowledge HRM as the capital of Halifax has been an incredible partner at the table for as many years as I've been involved with Access Awareness Week and the work that's happening, not only in Halifax, but I think it's also equally important to acknowledge what's happening around the province. It's been many times, it's felt like pushing water uphill in raising awareness and bringing the issues forward. But we're feeling now like we have some real momentum with the legislation at both a provincial level and at a national level, with the standards, with the directorate, and that is being demonstrated throughout the province with so many other municipalities who are today and over the weekend and during the course of this week are openly celebrating, raising flags, proclamation ceremonies. An incredible amount of work is happening within the municipalities, and it is so deeply appreciated to have it grounded in the capital, to understand that here in the province's capital, we do have the support of the specific department that supports accessibility issues, but it's across the municipal departments as well. So thank you for your work, and thank you to the municipalities who will be tuning in and those who are around the province who are watching this event. Our next guest brings greetings and Nova Scotia's provincial proclamation from Premier Houston, and has other commitments, who sends his regrets. However, he understands the significance of Access Awareness Week, Nova Scotia, and we have the pleasure of having the Honourable Susan Corkum-Greek joining us today. Susan Corkum-Greek is a former journalist and longtime community development advocate who was first elected to the Nova Scotia House of Assembly as MLA for Lunenburg in 2021 and was re-elected in 2024. She is now the Minister of Opportunities and Social Development, important to get my acronyms right, and has been Minister of the Social Economic Development and the Ministerial Assistant to the Minister of Communities, Culture, Tourism and Heritage, focusing on tourism. The Honourable Susan Corkum-Greek is wearing multiple hats today. In addition to reading the proclamation from the province, she also brings remarks from Opportunities and Social Development. Please join me in welcoming Susan Corkum-Greek. We're getting into the flow of it.
Well, good morning, everyone. I am absolutely thrilled to be here with you this morning because I did have a change of job description just last Thursday. I mean, you can smell the new paint. But I also had the rare gift that I was able to work with the folks at Opportunities and Social Development for a number of months under Minister Barb Adams and really have the time and, as I say, the gift to get to know this super important file and many of the partners who make this work not just navigable, but successful. And of course, the people, the first voice at the heart, and I look forward to more of that. If I describe myself, you know, I usually make a joke about I look like Shrek, but I'm not green. I'm fairly tall, but I'm fairly dense. I have a beige suit on, and I'm not one for fancy color names, but I have a periwinkle colored shirt on to match a cute little fish pin that someone gave me a long time ago. Again, so pleased to be with you today. 40 years, it's an incredible milestone. I have nephews who think they had just killed off the last of the dinosaurs 40 years ago. Now, we know that's not true, and in some ways, 40 years for some of us can feel like a blink in time. But it is something for us to take pride in, because in this instance, Nova Scotia led the country. And we celebrate the longest running disability initiative of its kind, and that really speaks to the strength, the leadership, and the advocacy of the community represented in this room and by those following us as well online. This year's theme, Disability Justice, First Voice Leading Change for Collective Action, is a powerful reminder that the best solutions come from listening to people with lived experience and ensuring those voices are not just heard, but that they are leading the way. Across the province this week, people are coming together to celebrate, to learn. I'm one of them. I still have everything to learn. And to have important conversations about accessibility and inclusion. Those conversations are important because they are going to shape our way forward. The Department of Opportunities and Social Development, we're doing our utmost best to turn that listening into action. And the Human Rights Remedy is a part of that journey. It's about stepping back, rethinking how we support people, and building a system that better reflects your everyday realities, your choices, and your rights. It's complex work, and it takes some time, but we are determined to get it right. What's clear, and frankly a great comfort, is that we don't have to do this alone. Progress happens because of partnerships with community organizations, advocates, and people who continue to push for better. People like the ones I'm looking at in this room. As we celebrate today and celebrate this week, we're celebrating how far we've come, and we're also recommitting to the work ahead. I want to thank the Nova Scotia League of Equal Opportunities, Prescott Group, and everyone here for your leadership, your voices, and your commitment to a more inclusive Nova Scotia. And now it is my honor to read a proclamation on behalf of Premier Houston. It's hard to speak after Will because he's so commanding. Maybe I need a bell. Maybe I got to invest in a bell. No, he's reaching for it. You're too. Maybe just give a couple ding dongs. No. Whereas Access Awareness Week Nova Scotia is an annual week-long celebration to raise awareness about disability, access, and inclusion in our society. And whereas Nova Scotia was the first province in Canada to champion Access Awareness Week 40 years ago, and in 2017 became the third province to pass accessibility legislation to prevent and remove barriers for people with disabilities. And whereas this year's theme, Disability Justice, Stronger Together, First Voice Leading Change, highlights the experiences of people with intersectional identities of disability, including members of the 2S LGBTQIA+, African Nova Scotian, Indigenous, racialized, and immigrant communities. Therefore, be it resolved that I, Tim Houston, Premier of Nova Scotia, do hereby proclaim the week of May 31st to June 6, 2026 as Access Awareness Week Nova Scotia, and do commend its thoughtful observation to all citizens of Nova Scotia. Signed, the Honorable Tim Houston. Thank you all.
That was literally a mic drop. Thank you, Minister Corkin-Greek, for joining us today and for bringing both the provincial proclamation and remarks from the Opportunities and Social Development Department. I know that we have worked closely with your departments and very happy to have you here today. So, on to more thank yous and remarks. And for the education and early childhood development, on behalf of Minister Brendan McGuire, please join me in welcoming Dr. Chris Bolter, I hope I pronounced that correctly, Senior Executive Director and Pre-Primary to Grade 12, Department of Education and Early Childhood. So you run the gamut. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. I'll describe myself. I'm wearing blue from head to toe, and I am very, very bald. It's an honor to join you today on behalf of the Department of Education and Early Childhood Development as we recognize Access Awareness Week. This year's theme, Disability Justice, First Voice Leading Change for Collective Action, reminds us that meaningful change begins by listening, truly listening, to the voices and lived experiences of persons with disabilities. It challenges all of us to move beyond awareness towards action that is guided by those most impacted. In education, this is particularly important. Every student deserves to feel seen, heard, and supported, and to learn in environments that are inclusive, accessible, and responsive to their strengths. Within our department, we're working to advance accessibility across the provincial education system in tangible ways. We continue to support regional centers for education and the Conseil Scolaire Acadien Provincial, CSAP, in making the broader system more accessible, ensuring ongoing progress and removing barriers. We're also collaborating with the Province Accessibility Directorate on the development and implementation of provincial accessibility standards, helping to ensure that our schools are designed and operated with accessibility at the forefront. In our schools, we're integrating disability rights and accessibility into what students learn and experience, building understanding, empathy, and inclusive mindsets from an early age. And importantly, we're investing in direct supports for students, including funding for assistive technology, accessible learning materials, and interpretation services to help ensure every learner can fully participate in our classrooms. We know this work is ongoing. Advancing disability justice requires sustained commitment, collaboration, accountability, and hearing from those most impacted. As we mark this week, let us continue to center first voices, work together across communities, and take collective action to help ensure Nova Scotia is a province that is truly accessible to all. Thank you.
I'm glad I did my hair this morning. Thank you, Dr. Bolter. I'm finding it a little chilly in here, but I would like to direct you now to the screen. There's a video from Minister Scott Armstrong, who is providing his remarks as well.
Hello everyone, my name is Scott Armstrong and I'm the Minister of Justice and Attorney. and anti-racism. I'm a white man with short blonde hair, and I'm wearing a business suit. I'm really pleased to have this opportunity to join all Nova Scotians in celebrating Access Awareness Week across the province. Proclaiming this week is an important reminder of our shared commitment to accessibility, and it's a chance to celebrate leaders and advocates who make a difference in our communities and in our lives. Particularly, this year's recipients of the Hebb Hourglass Action Awards. It takes a lot of dedicated people to make this week happen. I want to thank the Nova Scotia League for Equal Opportunities and the organizations in the Partnership for Access Awareness Week. Every day, they're working hard to make sure the rights of people with disabilities are respected and realized here in Nova Scotia. Their collective efforts are reflected in this year's provincial theme: Disability Justice, Stronger Together, First Voice Leading Change for Collective Action. Accessibility is about designing our communities, workplaces, and public spaces so that everyone can participate from the start. Guided by the Accessibility Act and Access by Design 2030, government is making progress on standards in 6 key areas to improve accessibility where we live, work, learn, and play. The first of these standards, the built environment, is now law. It will make outdoor spaces like trails, parks, and beaches more accessible. As Minister for the Accessibility Directorate, I'm proud to support this work, and I'm very optimistic of what we can accomplish together. Because we all want a province where everyone has the opportunity to participate fully, contribute, and thrive. A province where everyone belongs. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Scott Armstrong, for providing your remarks. It is now my pleasure to invite the Accessibility Directorate's new Executive Director, Michelle Harris, to speak on behalf of the Directorate and the Department of Justice. Michelle?
I need my glasses to be able to see my notes. Good morning, everybody. So, as Sherry said, my name is Michelle Harris, and I'm really happy to be here today as the new Executive Director of the Accessibility Directorate. I'm a tall-ish white woman with shoulder-length brown hair, and I'm wearing a dress and a blazer. I've only been on the job for about a month, and I'm very impressed by the work that the government has committed so far in implementing the Accessibility Act. As Minister Armstrong mentioned, at the Accessibility Directorate, we are working really hard to ensure that organizations are aware of the requirements under the Built Environment Accessibility Standard that became law on April 1st, 2026. I just want to acknowledge that a lot of the team from the Accessibility Directorate are here in the room, and they've been working for many years to bring that to fruition, and at the same time, we're on track with the development of the 5 remaining accessibility regulations in education, employment, service delivery, information and communication, and public transportation. We're also working to support the 108 public organizations who are responsible for drafting and updating their own accessibility plans every 3 years. And so this includes post-secondary institutions, regional centers for education, municipalities, regional libraries, museums, and many, many more. One of the core values embedded in the Accessibility Act that directs our work every day is nothing about us without us. This means that people with disabilities are an integral part of our processes to ensure that their perspectives and experiences are considered in all the work that we do. One way this happens is through the Nova Scotia Accessibility Advisory Board, who bring this first voice perspective and their unique skills and knowledge directly to the Minister of Justice. Today is an important event to kick off Access Awareness Week as we celebrate the people who have gone above and beyond to increase opportunities, awareness, and services for people with disabilities in their communities. Congratulations to all of the award recipients, and thank you for what you do every day. For 40 years, Nova Scotians have taken the time to pause and celebrate these leaders and initiatives that are increasing awareness and accessibility across the province. I feel honored to say that government has an important role to play in working to remove barriers for persons with disabilities and increase accessibility awareness. We all have a responsibility to ensure that access includes everyone. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle, and good luck. All the best in your new leadership role. I know you've got an incredible team that you're working with. Just a little bit, I'd like to talk about the Partnership for Access Awareness Nova Scotia. It is a collective. It's a free membership for those who would like to advance inclusion and accessibility. The Partnership for Access Awareness, which is also known as PANS, we continue to fully embrace the intent and meaning of Rick Hansen's Man in Motion tour and to raise awareness on the issues of ability and inclusion. Since 1987, beginning the last Sunday in May, Access Awareness Week continues to be an opportunity that allows all Nova Scotians to promote these issues. Through lectures, parades, conferences, forums, concerts. There are so many community events that are happening this week, all organized through the leadership of the Partnership for Access Awareness Nova Scotia. So I think that the team itself, not me, the team, definitely needs a round of applause for the work and the leadership that they've shown. As I mentioned earlier, for 40 years, Access Awareness Week has been addressing fundamental steps of positive change making. PAN's mandate hasn't changed, and we continue to aim for two things during the course of this week. One is to celebrate what has happened to increase accessibility and the potential of things to come. And that's what we focus on, the potential of things to come. Formally, the Partnership for Access Awareness achieves this with the presentation of the Mel Hebb Awards Action Awards, which we will witness in a very short time, and the PAN Scholarship Luncheon, which takes place later this week. We attempt to integrate this attitude of positivity into our approach to all things while recognizing the underlying systemic issues that continue to perpetuate exclusion. We also aim to bring issues of access to the attention of the public and to the policymakers. And as often as it has been said, change can grow from the bottom up, or it can be implemented from the top down. And what we're looking for, what we are hoping to achieve in the 40 years ahead of us, is for those movements to meet somewhere in the middle. This year's theme is disability justice. Stronger together, first voice leading collective action. As the province and the country continue to move with change towards action, the PANS Committee recognized that the need to consider and understand the alignment of disability justice with lived first experience is of paramount importance. And this was demonstrated at the provincial budget. If we have those slides up. We have two slides here. This is, again, I'm going to speak to collective action. But collective action starts with a single voice that builds, and it grows. And that groundswell, like Access Awareness Week, like those in this room and around the province, are what move us to action. So while it may have been one or two people, we ended up having more than one or two conversations. We ended up having a movement, and I am by no means trying to incite anything here. So no, that is not the case. What I am underscoring here is the importance of your voice the importance of how you are represented, the importance of being able to know that your voice is being heard, not just during Access Awareness Week, but around the table. When you step into a room and you see yourself, and if you don't see yourself, you feel strong enough and safe enough that you can speak up and say, hey, I have a voice and this is what I have to say. And when we do that collectively, we can make change. We can make positive change. So this theme inspired both the tagline and the highlight of how important it is for a first voice to be represented. While, and I'm going to underscore this, recognize the audience in the room, reinstating some of the funding is welcome. Funding alone does not guarantee justice. Without an intersectional lens, we risk misunderstanding who is most affected and who may still be left behind. Disability does not exist in isolation. It intersects with indigeneity, I knew I was going to trip over that word, with race, gender, with geography, and with income. When those systems overlap, inequities are compounded. We need accountability with measurable outcomes. We need accountability with benchmarks. We need income security without economic stability, autonomy, and participation remain out of reach. Lastly, we need community capacity. These organizations that are part of the PANS Committee and others who are not part of the PANS Committee, but a part of our community, provide peer support, advocacy, culturally grounded programming, and accountability. When funding is reduced, those already navigating compounded barriers are affected first and most deeply. Civil society capacity is not peripheral to inclusion. It is foundational to rights enforcement and to belonging. Nova Scotia has committed to becoming accessible by 2030. That commitment must be more than aspirational. Nova Scotia has the opportunity to lead, not just by funding programs, but by ensuring that rights are realized equitably for those who have historically been excluded. It's slide 12, apparently. As part of this leadership, a collaborative partnership between the PANS Committee and the International Day of Persons with Disabilities Committee is in its early stages of development towards a unified and single committee. This reflects a shared commitment to strengthening disability leadership, reducing silos, and creating a more coordinated and inclusive and sustainable approach to advancing accessibility, equity, and and human rights across Nova Scotia. This means we are shifting our approach to extending the theme to an entire year. So for the calendar year, we can have more robust conversations throughout the year. For 2026, the theme, Disability Justice, Stronger Together, will also be the theme for the December 3rd International Day of Persons with Disabilities and, can I say it, the flagship event, Ability to Rise. We currently have an open call for presentations and recommendations for the December 3rd. So if you have an idea for a presentation for the event, please go to abilitytorise.ca and there is a submission form. All input is welcome. This collaborative partnership between the PANS Committee and the International Day of Persons with Disabilities, as well as the planners for the Ability to Rise Committee, will present a unified committee that offers a significant strategic, organizational, and community benefits. Through a disability rights, intersectional, and communication inclusion lens, the partnership can strengthen collective impact while reducing duplication and deepening engagement across the province. Because access isn't just this week, it's every single day. This next presentation is from one of the many organizations in March that showed how first voice representation is needed when key decisions are being made that impact people and their communities. I would like to take this moment to invite Jennifer, Heather, and Justin for their presentation on Progress Place. Please join me. I'm sorry, I only have the one mic, so I guess you're going to have to fight for it. Who's the lucky person?
So, just so that we avoid a continuous medal ceremony of me passing it around, I was wondering, is it possible if we just put it right here? Will it pick up all of our voices from here? I'm looking at our tech expert. Okay, well then we will do a continuous medal ceremony of passing it along. Okay, so we're going to get started here. I've got my slides up. Perfect. All right. Well, I'm going to start by describing myself. I'm Justin McGarrett. I'm a tall, slender, dark-haired man with... Okay, so, maybe not as slender as I used to be, but, I'll suck it in. And there might be a little bit of gray in the dark hair, but, we'll avoid that. And then I'm wearing a red burgundy shirt with a gray stripe and white stripe, gray pants, and red burgundy shoes to match. All right, and I'll pass it on to you. Okay. Yeah, we'll just hold it then. Put that up there. I've got a mouse too.
Hi, my name is Heather. Hi, my name is Heather. I'm wearing a sweater and a pair of pants and a top underneath.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. Come over here.
Yeah.
Switch out.
Hi, my name is Jennifer. I'm wearing glasses, a blue shirt, pants, and Brooks sneakers, and I have blonde hair all tied up in a ponytail.
It's gonna be a little shuffle.
Hello, my name is Tegan, and I have red hair. I am wearing black glasses. I have hazel eyes. I am wearing a black shirt, and I guess you would kind of say like a lavender, lilac-y kind of purple leggings. And my hair is tied up in a ponytail.
Thank you very much. Woo-hoo. Good job, everybody. All right. Do you want to welcome everybody to Progress Place? Do you want to welcome everybody?
Welcome and coming today's ceremony.
Thank you very much. Welcome. All right.
Thank you to the province of Nova Scotia for funding Prescott Group and Club Inclusion.
Thank you to NS Leo for inviting us to speak today.
Here, why don't we come out over here on this side? Come on over here. All right. Boop. Or should I come on outside that too? Okay. My slide clicker is not working. Next slide. There we go. Okay. We
We are members of the Board of Directors for Prescott Group, Tegan Bielowski, Jennifer Richardson, and Heather Myatt.
All right. I'm Justin McGarrett. I'm going to be helping everybody. I'm going to help by reading the slides, prompting with questions, and reminding us about the time. All right.
Today, we are going to talk to you about accessibility.
That's great, yes. And a little bit more about Prescott. There are 450 people with disabilities who use Prescott and Club Inclusion and Prescott Group programs. And yeah, we're going to talk to you about accessibility today.
There are lots of people in our community.
That's right.
Most of us are young people under 40. Most of us live at home with our families.
Our family members and friends are also part of our community.
Yeah. There are so many people that are part of our Prescott community. As you can see from our graphs here, we have two breakdowns of who's in our community. We have people that live in small option group homes, which is 21.7%, family-run homes, 2.5%, 66.7% live with families, another 5.1% live in group homes, and we have 3.5% of people live in the apartment program. So most of us are young people under 40 that live with our families. So, okay. Next slide. All right. So now we're going to talk about self-advocacy, because that's really important to us, right? So, Jen, why is self-advocacy important to you?
It's very important for people to be included, to have their voice heard, and kindness, and spread accessibility to everyone, and plus, if you see someone like struggling, turn around and help them. Don't walk away, because they don't have the voice like we do. So that's why, for people who don't have a voice, that's why it's very important that I speak up for them.
Yeah, you like advocating for other people as well?
Yes.
Oh, that's great, Jen. Woo, yeah. All right. Now, Tegan, do you think you can tell us of a time when you had to self-advocate for yourself?
Yes, I definitely can do that. So for me, when I did the Achieve program at the IT campus, if I wanted to do drop-in club, I had to figure out how I was going to get myself there. It was too difficult for my parents to take time out of their day to get me over there. So we decided, me and my mom and my dad decided that we were going to teach me how to take the transit bus. So I learned that. So how I did that was my mom would, on the first time, she took it with me. I learned it. She taught me how to use Google Maps to figure it out. And now I'm able to take the bus. So I take the Metro Transit bus to club sometimes from my dad's office. I can take it to club. And I'm also hoping to learn how to take it to more places. I'm hoping that where I live in Lucasville, hopefully buses will be a little more available for me soon.
Yeah, that's a good point. Very good. Thank you, Tegan. All right, Heather. Heather, what does speaking up mean to you?
It means that when you speak up, people hear you and they know that you're speaking to them and they understand and they respect your feelings.
Great, yeah, awesome. That's right. All right. And speaking of self-advocacy, this is some pictures of people from our community that communicate in different ways, and we just want to acknowledge that their thoughts and their ideas are also a part of this presentation. So, yeah. All right. So, we're going to move 2 slides. Sorry, my slide clicker is not working. Next one. All right. Now, Tegan, we're going to talk about learning from us and learning from you in particular. What are 2 programs that you have done or projects that you've done?
So I've been a part of 2 different projects. I have been a part of how to manage your support workers and a crime prevention and abuse prevention project grant actually. And so I was able to work on these 2 really awesome grants. And as you see in this picture over there, me and Rafi, who is some staff who works here at Prescott and Club, me and her have worked on these 2 different grants together, and that is Five Bridges Junior High, where me and Rafi taught different students in different classrooms about crime prevention and abuse prevention. So basically what that is what it was about was the teachers would either specifically ask us about certain topics to talk to their students about, or we would look through our booklet that we made and start on a different topic, and then we would come up with a little presentation and teach those different topics to students. Yeah.
That's awesome, Tegan. Thank you. I've learned a lot from those things. All right. Jennifer, do you want to talk about the Leader in Training and maybe your trip to France?
Yes. I was in LIT. It's Leader in Training, how to run programs and activities. I went to France to compete in photography competition. Now, I have been teaching other people about photography.
You've been teaching other people about photography. What's your favorite thing about photography?
I get to take pictures of cool places like in BC. When my nephew was born, me and my mom went up to BC to visit him, and my dream was to see a waterfall. So my brother took me, my mom, and my nephew and his wife to Shannon Falls, and I got to take a picture in front of a waterfall.
Nice. That's awesome. Thank you, Jen.
You're welcome.
All right. All right. Next slide. Next slide, please. All right. So, we have some tips for making the world a little bit more accessible. All right. Heather,
Yeah.
what are your tips for making the world more accessible? What would you say?
I would say that it'd be accessible to use buses and
Buses, yeah.
more buses and more taxis and
Yeah, so do you find it sometimes hard to get around?
yes,
Yeah?
sometimes,
Is
yes.
it yeah? Okay. Well, thank you very much.
You're
Heather.
welcome.
All right. Tegan, do you want to tell us some of your tips to making the world more accessible?
Yes, it is important to think about our wheelchair and friends that maybe are in wheelchairs or who are in walkers, but we should also think about our friends that maybe have sensory issues, so that can mean bright lights, loud noises, all those kind of things that maybe we don't always think about when we think about accessibility in places. So just also thinking about that. Yeah.
Yeah, and Jen, do you want to come up and tell us about accessibility and some tips?
My tips are for all different workplaces in Nova Scotia should be accessible for people with disabilities. Be kind, be inclusive, and they all have, let them all, people with disabilities, be included.
Yeah, that's really nice. I like how you said be kind and be nice. Do you think we have a nice, warm, welcoming environment here at
Yes.
Progress Place?
Yes, we do.
Yeah. Do you think that makes it easier for you to come in and feel more
Yes.
included?
Yes.
Yeah, I do too. I think I love it. All right. Thank you very much, Jen. All right. So, woohoo. Got a couple more slides. Next slide, please. All right. All right. Accessibility at Progress Place. Actually, Jen, you're back up. All right.
We helped design this Progress Club.
Yeah, this Progress Place. You helped design it, right? So that means
Yes.
you guys told everybody what to do.
Yes.
Yeah, how you wanted the space to look?
Yes.
Yeah, really nice. And was there and you talked about all the things that you wanted in the space?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, Tegan, why don't you come and tell us some of the things that make this place great?
There's lots of great things about this space. One or two of them, as you probably heard at the very beginning, was that we have lots of different sensory rooms or quiet rooms, which means any of our friends that maybe need time to, get away from loud noises or whatever it is, they have that space. As you notice, all of our kitchens are fully accessible, even for our wheelchair friends. So there's nothing that is blocking the way to get close to a sink or a microwave or a fridge or anything. So everybody is able to use all the different items and different things here, which is how it should be, as the space is for all of us. Yeah.
That's great. Thank you very much. Heather, do you want to come tell everybody what we're hoping to get?
We're gonna get a Canton cold reading.
Our Rick Hansen gold rating, right?
Gold rating, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting. That means
Yes.
this place is going to be really accessible.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome. Great. All right. We're hoping. Yeah, we're hoping. We're not getting it. We don't have it yet. We're hoping. That's right. Spoiler. Well, so yeah. Very
That's
good.
very exciting.
That's very exciting. Do you think
Yes.
that would be really fun to have that?
Yes.
Would you like to tell everybody that, hey, we've got our Rick Hansen gold rating?
Yes, I was, we got a Hanson gold.
When we get it.
Yeah,
But-
when we get
if we
it,
get it.
yeah.
All right, very good. Thank you. All right. So we've got a couple more spots here. So next one, please. All right, Tegan, do you want to tell us a little bit about decision making and control?
All adults have the right to make decisions for themselves. An accessible space means a place where people with disabilities have control over the rules and are supported to make their own choices. It is not an accessible space if the rules are made without asking us.
That's nice. Oh, Tegan, I wanted to ask you a question about members council. What is that?
So members council is made up of members and our representatives. I am one of those representatives. I am one of the representatives for the Club Inclusion Members Council. And then also Patty Fuelling, who is not here today. He is also one of the representatives. And basically what members council is it's a place for members to basically have their voice heard so they can talk about issues, things they would like to see, things they would like to fix, all those kind of things. And us as the representatives really try to take what they want, their voices, and make sure that they're heard, and we make sure that we try to do whatever they're asking to be done or changed. We make sure that it happens. Yeah.
Great. That brings us to our next thing. What's our saying that we like to say here?
Nothing's about us without us.
That's right. That's right. Nothing about us without us. And you want to talk about you being on the board? Yeah, that's pretty good.
I'm on the board of directors. All the participants, me and Heather share the responsibility for being on the board. All the participants come with us so we can take it to the board and tell them what has been going on. And every Monday afternoon, we have participant council. So when we talk about stuff in participant council, me and Heather will take it to the board.
Yeah, you let the board know?
And I let the board know.
That's right. Do you get to vote on stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. There you go. Great. Okay. There we go. Yeah, so we'll go to the next slide. All right. Why are accessible spaces important to us? Tegan, why is it important to you?
Accessible spaces are important to us and to me is because I think a space that is inclusive and accessible is a space where you feel like you belong. You don't have to, mask anything. You can just be your true self. I know here at Prescott Club, I can be my true self. There is no masking. There's people that are a lot like me, so I don't feel like I'm alone. That's something that I really like because I know as you get older, it's harder to find people or places where you kind of feel like you belong. And so knowing that when I first came to Club Prescott, oh, there's people that are a lot like me, have the same disabilities, was very warming to my heart and very nice to know because sadly that's not always the case. And so having that has definitely helped, and it's definitely given me so many great opportunities and so many cool options and cool things to do here. I definitely have done a lot since I've started.
Thank you. All right. Heather, do you want to tell us why accessible places are important to you?
They're important to me so we can get around and do different things and hang around with our friends and the people and have fun.
Have fun. I like it. Perfect. All right. Jen, do you want to tell us why accessible places are important?
Accessible places are important to feel us, make us feel welcome and heard and all that.
Yeah. All right. Great. Well, thank you very much. All right. We're wrapping up here. Next slide. Just some more pictures of all of our friends who have helped with us doing the presentation and all that fun stuff. So, yeah. And then lastly, we are really grateful that the government funds our spaces and supports our people with disabilities. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. And that's us. All right. Who do I pass along? Perfect.
That's a tough act to follow. Thank you, Tegan, Jennifer, Heather, Justin. You guys did an amazing job in designing this place. It is truly one of the nicest buildings I've seen as far as accessibility goes. Wondering if we can enlist your services when we're looking for a site as well. We have one other piece that we have included in this year's Access Awareness Week for the opening ceremonies. We have a scholarship presentation to make for someone who's not able to make the luncheon later this week. So we are going to move to the scholarship presentation for Peyton Given. Peyton is a grade 12 student from Millwood High School, soon to be graduating in a few weeks. Peyton will be pursuing post-secondary education at St. Vincent University, taking a Bachelor of Arts and specializing in sociology and anthropology. Can you guys see that okay? Probably not. Peyton has a condition called spastic dystonic cerebral palsy, level 4. She has volunteered and been a part of the Youth Leadership Committee at the Rick Hansen Foundation for 5 years and volunteering at Building Futures. She has a deep passion for making the world a better place and to share her story on blogs, podcasts, and panels. Peyton has never seen their disability as a barrier. She has seen it as an opportunity to educate the next generation through her story about ideas on how to build a more equitable world where everyone is included, no matter their ability. I would like to invite Peyton to come up to receive your scholarship.
Thank you so much for letting me be here today and giving me the opportunity to still have the opportunity to get this scholarship today. I really appreciate it. Being a disabled person all my life and seeing the ability that I have to advocate with a severe disability has been an opportunity for me to share my experience living with a disability, to champion inclusion, equity for all in our workplaces, in our places that we play in our institutions, and in our schools. Going to post-secondary to take sociology and anthropology, to hopefully move to Dow to do social work, because I want to be a voice for those with disabilities in our hospital systems, as I feel there's a lack of disabled people actually helping those in our institutions, like our hospitals, where I feel giving a first-hand voice to another disabled person and their families in pediatric care would help the next generation to come be more equitable and inclusive for all. Being fortunate to now be on the alumni committee at the Rickhanson Foundation, but to be able to speak before my time at on the alumni committee, I spoke about my story from a young age with a physical disability. I feel that I have a privilege because cerebral palsy affects people in various of ways. Cerebral palsy is an umbrella where some people can talk and some people can talk and some people cannot walk or cannot speak. It can affect people in all different ways. Some people have intellectual disabilities and some people do not. I am I have a unique case where I have a severe disability, but it does not affect me cognitively. Having these opportunities to help our hospital systems, to help our communities, to make the world a more accessible and inclusive space, and getting this scholarship will help me on my journey to higher education and help our communities become a more accessible and a more inclusive space for all. Nova Scotia's Accessibility Week is just a step to the right direction for people with disabilities. It is a time to recognize, to take a moment to our past history that saddens our communities, like putting people in institutions just because of their physical disability. But yet, it is a time to also recognize our stories and individual struggles, but positively, because disability has a lot of stigmas. But when we take this time to recognize our challenges and stigmas and break it down so the next generation to come of people with disabilities, diverse disabilities, whether that be intellectual or physical or a bit of both, has a right to have a more inclusive and equitable space for all. I see the work being done to help our communities be a more accessible and inclusive space for all, and I'm very glad that this week has a time to honor people that fought the fight for centuries, and for people that is going to come after me, because disabilities are always going to have, people with disabilities and their families are always going to have to advocate. But when we can create a world where equity is in mind, people with disabilities can work, can play, can go to school with the right supports, whether that be having a personal care worker alongside with them, or to have accommodations. That's the most important thing. Every person with a disability is different, but we are a community that does not, that sometimes gets overlooked. So this week is a great start, but we need to really realize that it just doesn't end with this week. It champions the start of a more inclusive and equitable space. But we need to take time to see what this week and recognize what we can do to spread awareness throughout the year. So our challenges and our strives to create a more accessible and inclusive space doesn't just end with education of this day or education of political leaders saying that they're going to change the narrative. It is a time to recognize and honor what we can start by this week, what we can start by educating others, we can start making the world inclusive and equitable. We need to realize that people with disabilities don't just have a voice for 1 week. We have a voice 365 days a year, and we need to be heard. Thank you. Sorry if I took too long. At the end, can I get a picture? Yes, yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Peyton, for your eloquent words. Again, tough to follow an act like that. But congratulations on your accomplishments, and if you're up to it and you're able, please check in with Amanda, and we will have the scholarship luncheon on the live streaming this Friday as well. It is now my pleasure to also introduce 3 incredible women who again can speak far more eloquently to the legacy of Mel Hebb and the presentation of the Hourglass Action Awards. His daughter, Catherine Hebb, is joined by his granddaughters, Taylor Carvery and Aria Carvery. Are all 3 of you coming to the stage? Okay. I see there's a bit of a discussion.
Do I need that microphone?
Yes, you do.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, thank you. To describe myself, I'm wearing all black. I'm looking beautiful. I have some red shoes on. I'm probably about 6 foot right now. So the Hourglass Action Awards were launched in 1992. That year, the theme of the National Awareness Week was local community action. On one of the week's publication was the image of an hourglass. This hourglass inspired the award's name and its spirit of timely action. In 2000, the name of the award was changed from the Hourglass Action Awards to the Mel Hebb Hourglass Action Awards in honor of my grandfather, Mr. Melbourne Hebb, a former chair of the awards committee. The spirit of the award remains unchanged. Hebb, who passed away in October 1999, was the personification of dedicated action. His wry sense of humor could have been mistaken for grumpiness, but those who knew Mel Hebb knew differently. Hebb gave freely of himself. He put all of himself into everything he pursued. His life was a demonstration of the type of leadership and dedication the Hourglass Awards recognize. Contracting polio in 1942 at age 9, Hebb's days as a typical Lunenburg country farm boy ended. The disease stripped him of his ability to run, climb trees, bathe, and write. His paralysis becoming so complete that he couldn't even swat flies away from his face. But Hebb fought back with years of rehab and therapy. Though he only regained 50% of normal functioning, Hebb's courage remained untouched. He finished high school by correspondence, in overcoming the challenges of being a wheelchair user on campus that often was and remains less than wheelchair friendly. Hebb completed his Bachelor of Commerce degree at Dalhousie University. His interest in issues relating to access was born both out of desire for an equitable society and a need born out of his own desire for a full life. Hebb went on to jobs at New Leaf Enterprise, Dalhousie Print Shop, and the Nova Scotia Rehab Hospital. All these positions demonstrated his work ethic and determination. He married Wanda, also a polio survivor, raised 2 daughters, my mom. In 1996, he published an autobiography, Wheels to Victory, an account painful at times of his struggle and their overcoming. A member of the awards committee for 4 years, 2 of those as chair, Mel Hebb was an inspiration to the others involved and to all persons. Hebb passed away October 3rd, 1999. The following spring, the awards were renamed in his honor. I do also just want to mention my grandmother, Wanda Hebb, who passed in 2015. The Mel Hebb Hourglass Action Awards recognize Nova Scotians for their contributions to the lives of persons with disabilities, recognizing that these contributions are varied and diverse. We have different awards to reflect the amazing work that is being done.
I try and get out of this if I can. I like to hand the torch off. Good morning, Changemakers. What an honor it is to be here with you again. I think it's probably, 26 years for me. And my 3 daughters have accompanied me. One is in Ottawa, wishes she could be here today. My heart is so full. Are we not so inspired and ready to go and say, we're not done yet. Every day we wake up and make decisions on what kind of province we want to live in, right? And we're all contributors, every one of us, everyone who's spoken, all the awards, everyone who's here as champions. So it's, I feel very inspired. As always, it keeps me going for a year. So we've had some selection. We had a process, didn't we, Sherry? They love me because I like to give out a lot of awards, and I like to stretch the categories. So we've landed on some pretty special people, which we're going to. Oh. Good job, kid. Which we're going to tag team, so I think holding it probably is the best thing. So we're going to start with the Community Action Award. And the Community Action Award is to recognize communities dedicated to increasing opportunities for persons with disabilities in their area. This includes recreation opportunities, inclusive education, and employment opportunities, or other initiatives that lead to full participation of people with disabilities. PANS regrets that improvements to accessibility that are mandated by the Accessibility Act cannot be considered. So there's been some tweaking of the awards over the years. So this year we are presenting the Community Action Award to the Halifax Malala, I practiced it, Raya, you helped me. Malala, someone say it for me. Malalale, thank you, that was good. Association, thank you, Susan. The Halifax Malala was nominated in recognition of its leadership in advancing access awareness with newcomer communities. As a young registered nonprofit founded by newcomers primarily from South India HMA has demonstrated a strong and growing commitment to inclusion, equity, and community support. HMA has gone beyond its traditional role by intentionally addressing disability awareness, an area often shaped by stigma and silence with many newcomer communities. Through interactive sessions with disability rights advocates and collaboration with stakeholders, such as Inclusion Nova Scotia, HMA created safe spaces for dialogue and learning. The work has not only raised awareness, but also has initiated meaningful conversations and engagement around disability. I invite the HMLA Association reps to accept this award. Good morning. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Yes. Did you want to say a few things?
Good morning, everyone. Myself, John Ignatius Pereira. On behalf of the Halifax Malayali Association, it's a profound honor to accept the Hebb's Hourglass Action Award today. So we as an organization, non-profit organization, started 4 years ago. We are deeply grateful to the Partnership for Access Awareness Nova Scotia for this meaningful recognition during Access Awareness Week. At the Halifax Malayali Association, we believe that true community building means ensuring that everyone has a seat at the table, that our cultural spaces are accessible, welcoming, and inclusive for people of all abilities. This award reflects the dedication of our volunteers, members, and supporters who work tirelessly to foster inclusion and to break down barriers within our community. We are proud of the progress we have made, but we also recognize that there is always more work to be done. Thank you to PANS for your unwavering advocacy, leadership, and commitment to creating a more accessible Nova Scotia. Your efforts continue to inspire organizations like ours to take meaningful action and make inclusion a priority every day. We are honored to receive this award and remain committed to working alongside you toward a province where everyone can participate fully and equally. Thank you very much.
This is the Hourglass. Congratulations again. You're welcome.
Next, we are presenting the Exceptional Service Award. The Exceptional Service Award recognizes an organization or a member of an organization that has gone beyond their mandates in services to persons with disabilities. This year, we have 2 awards for the Exceptional Service Award. First, we are presenting the Exceptional Service Award to Summer Street Farms. Summer Street Industry, a nonprofit organization in New Glasgow, Nova Scotia, recently developed Summer Street Farms. This is the largest fully wheelchair-accessible hydroponic, oh goodness, I guess me and my mom can't pronounce words, I'm so sorry, hydroponic modular farm in Canada. Summer Street Farm is able to grow fresh vegetables year-round to help provide local food security. Summer Street Farm allows clients with diverse abilities to become employees where they have meaningful work and can develop new skill sets feel good about contributing. People with diverse abilities are helping other people through this social innovation project. A large portion of this quality and nutrient-dense food is donated back to the community through partnerships with local food bank, the health authority, and the free lunch program at the local high school. They are now selling to local retailers as well, and this will help them become more financially stable and create more employment opportunities. The diverse clients feel proud of their contribution. Summer Street Farm is driven by the interests and wishes of the diverse clients, with the spirit of inclusion being the overarching principle. I invite Summer Street Farm to accept the award.
My name's Bob, and it's my honor to be here today. I'm wearing a gray blazer and a blue shirt, scruffy beard, and limited hair. Hebb family, nice to see you all. Minister, Deputy Mayor, and Alice, always nice to see you, friends and guests. I'm here accepting this award on behalf of the participants at Summer Street because they asked me to come down and wanted me to pass on that they are having a huge celebration later this week in honor of the award, and they wanted everybody to be part of it. So that's why we're doing it this way. What you may not know about us, in addition to what was said, is that our participants directly influence, similar to what they do at Prescott Group, the board of directors. So think for that for a minute. You've got the end user of services directly influencing the highest authority. They don't go through me. In fact, when the minister was at Summer Street a week or so ago, I introduced her to the participant council rep, who's Stevie, and Stevie was doing his job, which is janitorial work in our buildings. And when she asked him what he did, he started to tell her, and then he said, well, really, my job is I'm Bob's boss. So, and I couldn't have scripted it better, by the way, but I thought that was great. So the participant council directly influences the board because once a year they sit down with the board of directors and they rate the organization on performances that are important to them, on 80 points that are important to them. So the end user influencing the highest authority. Just imagine what the impact that has. And that's how we ended up getting this award. It's because pre-COVID, our participants went to that board meeting and rated us in various categories and said we want to do three things. They said we want to be able to grow food so we can eat it. Yeah, that's pretty easy to do, we thought. And they said the second thing is that we want to be able to grow food so that Bob can sell it so we can get paid to grow the food. Yeah, we could do that. And then they said, but this is the most important thing. There's hungry people out there, and we want to give them food. We want to grow food to give it to those hungry people. Just imagine what this world would be like if people would follow that lead. Just imagine. The world wouldn't be in the state it's in. So anyway, but you do it one little bit at a time. So it's my honor to accept the reward on behalf of the participants at Summer Street, and really appreciate being here.
Is this the right one? Thank you. Next, we are presenting the Exceptional Service Award to Annette Hill. Annette, oh, I like the cheering. Annette has been the Take Part Coordinator at Easter Seals, Nova Scotia, for a total of 4 years, and her dedication to the children and families of her program is exceptional. Annette's work over the 4 years has completely transformed the Take Part program by expanding the program in Yarmouth, Cape Breton, and Halifax. She helps each volunteer in those places form new partnerships and ensures each program is working the best to its ability. More importantly, she is consistently evaluating her programs and adding improvements each year. Annette is excellent in developing partnerships which will benefit her families, including tickets to sporting events, Learn To sessions, pizza parties, and much more, which will all contribute to the kids feeling included while building on their skills. Annette's dedication to her programs have people driving close to 2 hours just to attend. Speaks to the quality. I invite Annette Hill to come forward and accept her award.
Thank you so much. It's an honor. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm not much of a speaker here, but anyway, I'm more hands-on, but it's an honor to receive this, and my kids are very important to me, and I think every kid deserves to play, so it's, and this program needs to grow. It needs to grow across the province and all through Canada. And without funding, it's really tough. We don't have a lot of funding. We have no government funding, so it's very important for people to recognize how hard it is for a lot of these kids to get out and be active, and for programs like mine and other organizations. For these kids to get out and see the smile on their face, you know what, they might not be able to propel themselves on the ice, but when you have a volunteer that's pushing them, and all you see is that smile and that giggle and that glee, I tell you, it's 110% reminds you why you're there every day. And just, you know, if you know, just reach out to your politicians, to anyone, you know. Sport inclusiveness is so important to everyone, and that way they can, it's a leveling the line for everyone to come out onto the court, the yards, the ice to play, and with their siblings, because every kid deserves to play. And thank you so much for this. It's an honor, and I really don't like talking, so it's an honor. Thank you.
We are now presenting the Encore Award. The Encore Award is to recognize a person with disability who has significantly contributed to the community. We also have two awards for the Encore Award. First, we are presenting to Joseph Robichaud. A child amputee, Joe has pursued his lifelong interest in looking at the world, moving from observing the heavens through a telescope at home to capturing the events of our province, large and small, with his camera. Preferring not to wear a prosthetic, he embarked on a lifelong career of professional photography, shooting a camera in all weather with the support of a crutch. Joe has been a role model for persons with physical disability through his perseverance, generosity, creativity, and community engagement across the province. His volunteering in photography has included Skills Canada Nova Scotia Photography Competition Judge, International Abe Olympics Photography Judge in South Korea and Bordeaux, France. Joe continued his early love of cycling using an adapted bike. In this area, he has volunteered for Skills Canada Nova Scotia, International Abe Olympics, and is a founder of the Cycle Ability Challenge to purchase adaptive bikes for children with disabilities. I invite Joseph Robichaud to accept the award.
So much. Thank you. Yes, I would like to say a few words. I do have a
probably more than a few words, but in any case, thank you. It's my daughter, Catherine. Can't assist this one. Good morning, everyone. I think I need to put this on. Okay, thank you all so much for being here this morning in support of Access Awareness Week and in support of people with disabilities. The toughest battles are given to the strongest warriors. I'm deeply honored to receive the Encore Award this morning, to be recognized in this way by people and organizations committed to inclusion, accessibility, and the dignity of all Nova Scotians. It means a great deal to me. I'd first like to sincerely thank Steve Trussoni, who is the Atlantic Regional Coordinator for the Tetra Society of North America, and we help people with disabilities. Thank you, Steve, for your support, encouragement, and belief in my work and community involvement are greatly appreciated. To be nominated by someone you respect makes the recognition especially meaningful. I also want to thank the Nova Scotia League for Equal Opportunities and Access Awareness Week Nova Scotia for the important work that you do in promoting accessibility and helping create a province where everyone has the opportunity to participate fully and equally. I've learned that challenges can shape us, but they don't define us. What defines us is how we respond. We move forward through resilience, through community, through determination, and continue contributing in ways both large and small. Over the years, I've come to reflect on the labels that society often places on persons with disabilities. Personally, I've never allowed those labels to define who I am or what I'm able to contribute. I believe that every person has value, purpose, talent, and something meaningful to offer their community. Disability does not diminish that. We are not defined by limitation. We are defined by our humanity, our character, our resilience, and our ability to contribute. I do not see disabilities placing some people apart from others. I believe we are all equals, and inclusion begins when society recognizes ability before limitation, potential before assumption, and person before label. I have learned to focus not on what was lost, but what was found. I believe there's a tremendous strength in adapting, tremendous dignity and perseverance, and tremendous beauty in continuing to engage fully with life. This award is not simply about one individual. It reflects the many people along the way who offered support, encouragement, friendship, and opportunity. None of us succeeds entirely alone. Community matters, inclusion matters, compassion matters. To anyone here this morning who may be facing obstacles, uncertainty, or moments of self-doubt, I would simply say this: your life has purpose and meaning. Your voice matters, and your contributions can make a real difference. The only limits are the ones that we place on ourselves. Sometimes the greatest achievements are not the loudest ones, but the quiet decision to keep showing up, to keep participating, and keep believing that we all belong. I'm almost finished. Nova Scotia is strongest when everyone is included, when barriers are removed, when doors are open, and when people are recognized, not for limitations, but for possibilities. Thank you once again for this incredible honor. I'll carry it forward with gratitude and humility. I want to end on this note. As I look back on the struggles, the triumphs, the challenges, and the victories, I do so with a deep sense of purpose, meaning, and gratitude for every step taken along the way, for having beat the odds, for having survived cancer. I hope that by sharing my story, I can inspire others to see beyond limitations, find beauty in their own journeys, and discover strength in vulnerability. The toughest battles are given to the strongest warriors. Thank you. Excuse me. Catherine's got to come. Can't carry it on crutches. Thank you. Thank you, Catherine. And I'm going to take this as well. Can you carry that?
Oh,
for
I thought he was going to give it to you and then to me.
Well, I can.
I don't want to interrupt the flow.
I don't want to drop it.
Okay,
Congratulations.
I'll definitely drop it. That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Catherine.
I carry.
Thank you. Thank you. Get a microphone back.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for remembering.
Well, I can remember, actually. Ready to give the microphone
Yeah, yeah.
back?
Okay. So as we said, we have two in the encore. Someone on the selection committee must like to stretch the boundaries. Might be me. Next, we are presenting to Randy Reed. So Randy is, I like when you hoot, like when you go, woo! Yeah, thank you, thank you. Randy's a part-time employee of the Teamwork Cooperative, TWC. Due to his spinal cord injury, part-time allows Randy to work his care schedule into his work schedule. Randy primarily assists with TWC's Workplace Support Program, where he helps intake and process requests for assistive devices. Randy is also part of TWC's Funding Review Committee that helps adjudicate client funding requests. He also leads the accessibility grant submissions process and volunteers for everything he can. He volunteers as the community resource navigator for client requests and difficult situations where TWC's funding cannot apply. He is tireless in searching for specific supports outside of TWC, outside of work. He attends every HRM planning meeting he can and is a political advocate for those with disabilities. He always goes above and beyond and has a great lighthearted sense of humor. I invite Randy Reed to accept the award.
Probably gonna have to.
Want me to hold this?
Yeah,
or
you can
want
put
me
it,
to
can you put it
on?
on? Thank you for the award. Just- So in the middle of the night, I said, oh my God, I don't have a speech. So I got up in the middle of the night and started writing. So, a sec. Just gonna grab my glasses here too. Okay. Yeah. Oh, watch it, this is gonna slide.
Yeah.
Glasses over here too. And my good glasses are at work. These are dollar store glasses. They work. Okay, first of all, I just wanted to thank my coworker Tyler for nominating me and for the Hebb Awards Committee for choosing me as one of the winners of the, this is, excuse me, this is sliding down. This thing, this.
There's usually a lip here, right?
I don't know if it's,
Here,
let me see. Okay, there it goes. I think that,
I'll just take this.
okay.
And then you don't have to
That-
worry about that.
Okay, great, thank you. Yeah, first of all, I want to thank my coworker Tyler for nominating me and for the Hebb Awards Committee for choosing me as one of the winners of the Encore Award. 5 years after my spinal cord injury, I began to work for the Royal Bank of Canada. As a person with a disability, I felt I wanted to find work where I could help and support persons with disabilities. I was fortunate to find work with the Canadian Paraplegic Association after 9 years with the bank. I also worked for Independent Living Nova Scotia, where I worked with Sherry for many years, which was great, and we worked well together. 22 years later, I'm still in some way, hopefully, helping and supporting persons with disabilities at Teamwork Cooperative. I have my t-shirt, I have my shirt on here today. You can't see, but it's cold in here, as Sherry said, and I had to wear a jacket. I have also volunteered for many nonprofit organizations, persons with disabilities, as well as the Heart and Stroke Foundation, where I won a provincial award, and MAD Canada. I have been an advocate for myself and others when it comes to disabilities issues. Many years ago, I walked in the 5K Blue Nose Marathon. The Chronicle Herald actually did an article on me prior to the event. I was on the front page of the sports section. Sidney Crosby was on page 2. What I wanted to say about that is after I did the 5K, I received an email from an individual with a disability who also uses crutches. He said after reading my article, he felt the strength to do the Blue Nose the following year. He was scared and unsure, but after reading my article, he wanted to, he said, this is something I want to do. In closing, I just want to, through these years having a disability, I just want to thank the support I get from family and especially my daughter and my grandson too. He's been really, he always thought, he's 3 now, and he has, and he thought, he was thinking that my crutches were a toy, so he'd play with them, but now he's really, he looks at me and he grabs my arm, he calls me Bubba, he says, Bubba, are you okay? So, and, I think it's a lot about the new generation that we need to teach people, about persons with disabilities and, the struggles and the supports that people need. So I think the younger generations needs to learn as well. So I think that's very important. So I want to thank everybody and thank you. Okay, bye. Yeah. Okay, let me see how, let me see. Yeah, just grab that. Okay.
Here it is.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. She wants to take a picture of this. Good. Okay, here, Tyler, just grab that. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Next, we are presenting the Access Award. The Access Award is to recognize an individual, business, or group without a mandate to serve persons with disability that has worked to improve access to facilities or services in a given area. While changes made to a building specifically to improve accessibility are eligible, PANS regrets that improvements to accessibility that are mandated by the building code cannot be considered for these awards. We also have 2 awards for the Access Award. Corey Melanson is a leader in advancing, First, we are presenting the Access Award to Corey Melanson. Corey Melanson is a leader in advancing accessibility across workplaces and communities. While her work is not driven by a formal mandate, it is grounded in a deep commitment to removing barriers and creating meaningful opportunities for people with disabilities. Through her leadership of the Accessibility Confident Employers Initiative, Corey has supported organizations across Nova Scotia and Atlantic Canada to rethink how they approach recruitment and hiring. She has helped employers move beyond compliance towards practical, inclusive inclusive practices that open doors for people who are deaf, neurodivergent, and or living with disabilities. She meets organizations where they are, offering clear guidance and practical tools that can be implemented right away. Beyond training, she is contributing to broader systems change by building partnerships, sharing knowledge, and amplifying lived experience. Her work is helping shift accessibility from an afterthought to a core part of how organizations operate.
Good morning, everyone. I am not a notes person, but I do want to say I am a white, queer, neurodivergent settler. And so I know, and I'm medium height, shoulder-length hair, a purple blazer, and black pants, and bright orange shoes. I think those social identities are really important, both the dominant ones and also the marginalized ones. I came to this work a number of years ago as an ally. I have a dad who's quadriplegic. I have a daughter who has learning disabilities. And then since I started doing some of this work in accessibility, I realized I'm also first voice. Been diagnosed with ADHD, I have a brain injury, and I also struggle with anxiety and depression. And so as I've kind of learned more about my own journey, it's just been an interesting journey, I guess. I want to acknowledge Sacred Baisden, who's in the room, who is part of the team at Sea Change Collab, and we have the Accessibility Confident Employers, or ACE project. We're now a team of 6, 4 in Nova Scotia, 1 in New Brunswick, 1 in Newfoundland, and we've worked with over 5,000 individuals and over 700 employers over the last 3 and a bit years. We're really proud of the work that we've been able to achieve. A lot of it is in partnership, so the Nova Scotia Accessibility Directorate has been a huge partner. I say HRM, King's, Michelle is here, and so many other organizations who really support and amplify the work that we're doing. I don't want to take too much more time, but love this, that you're carrying on this legacy of your father and your grandfather. And thanks so much to everyone who has organized this award ceremony and the week. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Next, we have Brittany Curry. So we're presenting, Brittany Curry has a strong and ongoing commitment to advancing accessibility and inclusion for people of all abilities in New Glasgow through her leadership, advocacy, and genuine care of others. As a dedicated member of the Town of New Glasgow Accessibility Advisory Committee, Brittany plays an important role in supporting the town's Accessibility Action Plan and helping identify barriers that affect residents in their daily lives. She contributes thoughtful insight to discussions about accessibility and consistently encourages approaches that promote dignity, independence, and equal participation for everyone in the community. Her work reflects a deep belief that accessibility should be a shared priority and that all residents deserve to feel welcome and included in community spaces, services, and programs. Brittany also helps promote inclusive participation through initiatives such as Treat Accessibility, encouraging residents to make neighborhood transitions safer and more welcoming of children of all abilities. As a parent of a child who uses a wheelchair, she brings valuable lived experience to accessibility conversations and uses her voice to advocate for meaningful change. I invite Brittany Curry to come forward to accept the award.
Hi, I'm Brittany. I'm wearing a baby blue dress with flower prints. I have brown hair, and I'd like to honor my heritage with my Acadian grandmother, French Acadian, sitting here, Geraldine Bourgeois Godet. Thank you to Mel Hebb and the Nova Scotia League for Equal Opportunities and the Partnership for Access Awareness Nova Scotia Committee selecting me to receive the Access Award as part of the Mel Hebb Hourglass Action is truly something I will be proud of for the rest of my life. To the town of New Glasgow, you've welcomed me to provide a first voice from the beginning. This has given me such reassurance that together we are on the right path. Listening to my family's disability lens to ensure inclusion and accessibility is the standard for everyone has been accepted for many, many years. I'm so proud to say I'm from a small rural area like the town of New Glasgow, and I thank you all for allowing us to flourish together. I'd like to celebrate this award by accepting this in honor of my daughter Aubrey and all citizens with disabilities, both visible and invisible. I remain committed to doing my part to making our province an inclusive and accessible place for everyone. Congratulations to all recipients today, and especially Summer Street Industries. This organization and all your participants has and continues to do remarkable work within our community and beyond. I'm so appreciative and have been guided by your sense of values, dignity, and inclusion. Thank you again to all who celebrate these milestones for communities and individuals who are driven by the desire to ensure an equal playing field for all. Celebrating Access Awareness Week continues to demonstrate where we are striving to actively remove barriers and to create a more inclusive and safe communities. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm going to be presenting the last award. I'm the youngest Hebb, and I just want to say I'm so proud and grateful to be a part of this. I think, as my mom said, everyone here, is making changes in the community, and it's so important that we can come together and celebrate these wins. So lastly, we are presenting the Youth Champion Award. Youth Champion Award is to recognize a youth with a disability up to 18 years of age who has significantly contributed to raising awareness of disability issues and championing accessibility. When we were selecting the recipients, this award recipient's nomination inspired us to reflect on the age range for our Youth Champion Award. So the award will change to up to 30 years of age to better reflect the amazing work youth are doing across the province. This year, we are presenting the Youth Champion Award to Yash Jawad. Yash's work aims to positively impact the campus and broader community of Woodville by attempting to create accessible, dignified systems of care that directly respond to students' needs as best possible. Through their leadership with Food Sharing Acadia and as coordinator of the Acadia Student Union Food Cupboard, they have helped expand food access for students experiencing food insecurity, particularly those living off campus or navigating financial and accessibility barriers. Yaz also prioritizes food sovereignty and dignity by trying to ensure that resources are culturally relevant, reliable, and rooted in community care. This approach has strengthened trust and engagement among students who may otherwise feel excluded from traditional support systems. As president of the Acadia Students Union, they have tried to further contribute to student well-being by advancing harm and reducing initiatives on campus. This initiative aims to reflect a proactive commitment to student safety, health, and inclusion. Living with a disability is a full-time job, no breaks, no vacation days, it's constant. Their lived experience helps to inform their advocacy and ensure accessibility remains central to all the initiatives they lead. I invite Yash Jawad to accept this award.
Hi, everyone. Thank you. I have a few words I prepared also last night because I realized I didn't have a speech prepared, so bear with me. Good evening, everyone. I'm so thankful to have the opportunity to be here today with all of you. I'd like to firstly thank the organizers and everyone who has made tonight possible. It's a privilege to be here, and it's also a privilege to be receiving this award. To be super honest, I never really expected to be standing at a podium here today, accepting an award. Growing up with a disability, it wasn't something I was always told to talk about, or something I felt like I needed to hide. Much of my energy went into trying to fit in, trying to keep up, trying to adapt to other people around me. So I think getting this award and receiving recognition, similar to how everyone has in this room today, it carries a lot of weight in a world that is actively trying to erase a lot of people with disabilities. I think it's important that these kind of opportunities exist for people like us. And not only that, like many people with disabilities, I became very familiar with navigating spaces that weren't necessarily built with me in mind. And yet somehow along the way, I realized that accessibility isn't necessarily about asking people to make room for us. For me, accessibility is about recognizing that we've always belonged here. It's the difference between surviving in a space and then feeling welcomed in it. The difference between being accommodated and feeling valued. It's the difference between existing in a community and feeling like you're truly a part of it and you belong in it. Over the last few years, whether through student leadership, community food initiatives, advocacy, or just simply conversations with people that are willing to share their stories with me, I've come to understand that accessibility touches everything in this life, not just physical accessibility either, but accessibility in all different formats. And then my last note is this: I really want to thank friends, chosen family. I have one of my friends and colleagues, Zahida, in the crowd right now. It's hard to live with a disability. As you said earlier, it's constant, it's every day, there's no vacation days. Having support people that are there for you, people that will stand in your corner, someone that will be there that you can lean on when you're having a hard day or other people just don't understand, I think is a really big thing. So just want to give a big shout out as well to the support people in my life. Thank you so much.
Do we want to do the group photo now, Sherry? Or do it after? Yeah, okay. Thank you, everyone. Congratulations. Congratulations to all the award recipients. And I'll pass the mic back to Sherry. There are boxes here so you don't break your hourglass on the way home. So I'll bring those around. Thank you.
I think our tech is going to have a bit of a stroke with all the mics that have been dropped here today. Sorry. Okay, let's see where I pick up at. Right. All right. So, again, so many, I hate to say it, but so many inspiring and heartfelt words have been spoken today. And I can't help but think that when we leave here today, to carry that with us. I know it's easy to be in a space and get caught up, and then all of a sudden we step out and we're in a different environment. But to try to carry that forward, I think, is something that, try at least to do, and remind ourselves exactly where we are in this space, because it takes all of us, it takes all our voices, and it takes the afterthoughts to ensure that these messages, that these experiences, these journeys don't stop when we leave the room. Not sure if it's this mic or the one that I'm holding here that is some feedback. You guys picking up on that? A little better? It's the hand? Okay, it's good to know. So again, congratulations to all of our award recipients, to our recipient for the scholarship. And again, keep my hands out of the way. I will be looking forward to seeing some of you at the luncheon. I would also like to thank Catherine, Taylor, and Aria for your inaugural presentation as well. And for all the work that everyone in this room does in our communities. For all of the advocates, the self-advocates, the support, all of you, it is not going unnoticed. And know that even though at times you may feel like you're fighting this battle on your own, you're not. There's an entire community that is here. And there's an entire community where you live that you can reach out to. I would also like to say that as part of the community that you can reach out to, one of the things that we're going to be doing for this year, the inaugural year of the Unified International Day of Persons with Disabilities, is what is called the Steve Esty Award. Many in this room may know the name of Steve Esty. Not only was he a former board member of NSLEO, but he was a strong leader and advocate and first voice person with a disability who passed away. I know his son is here, and I'm trying to remember. It has not been long since he's been gone, but it seems like forever. So this December 3rd, the International Day of Persons with Disabilities, during the Ability to Rise event, we will be awarding the first Steve Esty Award, and this is in collaboration with Steve Esty's family. And looking forward to nominations. You can certainly get the details of that on our website, and I presume that we're also going to be sharing that with the new Ability to Rise website that's going to have all the information with regards to the International Day of Persons with Disabilities. Just want to make sure that all my pages are in order here, because obviously my ducks are not. All right, so one of the last things I would like to remind everyone, actually not remind because I don't think we mentioned it yet, we do have a guest book that is at the side that if you would like, please sign it. We would love to be able to reach out if you would like to keep you up to date with what's happening. And as I mentioned, nominations are now open for the inaugural Steve Esty Award. This is a great way to start off Access Awareness Week, Nova Scotia, but I would like to close by extending my deepest gratitude to all the members of the Partnership for Access Awareness Committee, and again underscore the work that Amanda Hendry has done in pulling us together. I would also say thank you to Will Brewer, our town crier, Halifax Regional Municipality Deputy Mayor Patty Cuddle, Minister Susan Corkum-Creek, Dr. Chris Bolter, Minister Scott Armstrong, Catherine Deagle-Gammon, and Michelle Harris for the proclamation and for the remarks for this week. Thank you as well to Tegan, to Jennifer, Heather, Justin, and the Prescott Group for your presentation, and to the Prescott for just having this organization and to underscoring the importance of first voice. Thank you to Catherine, Taylor, Aria, and all our award recipients, as well as the members of our committee and contributions during the week. I will say that our partners include the associations of municipalities, the administrators of Nova Scotia, the Village of Bible Hill, I know I'm going to miss them here, CNIB, Nova Scotia Affairs Integration Office. There are so many. HRM, I know Steve is still in the house, so to speak. And the Tetra Society continues to support us, if not on the committee, but through the work that they do. Through Joanne Bernard, Easter Seals, again, thank you all. Thank you all so very much. And I know the one part that everybody is going to enjoy hearing so much, we have food and drinks for anyone who would like to help themselves and perhaps take a bit of a breath before you head out, continue your day. Thank you, teamwork. So happy to see you guys here as well.